Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Once again, it's straight up 8 o'clock on a Thursday night, and it is time for another fantastic evening here in Ben Shell Park. Thanks to all of you for coming out. Hopefully a few more of you are going to be filtering in. I think the weather might have scared some people off, but hey, we've got blue sky coming out over there in the west, so we're in good shape. Don't you think? I think we're going to be fine here tonight. Takes more than a threat of thunderstorms to prevent us from sharing music with you. This is the month of July. We're into the second half of the Ames Municipal Band concert season. And let's hear it for the folks who helped get things rolling tonight, our pre-concert entertainment. A double dose of that, the members of the Ames Municipal Band, Dixieland Band, and the Ballard Community Band under the direction of Brandon Weeks. Tonight we will have another grand premiere number to present, plus we'll roll out some old friends for you. And our guest vocal soloist, certainly an old friend of the Ames Municipal Band. We'll meet him for the first time coming up in just a moment. I'm John Burnett-Larkins, and we of course have some very friendly faces behind me on this stage, as we do every Thursday night. Tell you what, they're more than just good looking, they are very talented as well, don't you think? Please welcome the members of your Ames Municipal Band. And the director of your Ames Municipal Band, Dr. Mike GOLEMO.
Thank you, sir.
Also definitely more than a pretty face. And that old friend mentioned just a moment ago is now set to help us get our program underway. Please welcome Mr. Chris Johnson. Chris is our guest vocal soloist this evening. At this time, we ask you to please rise. Please remove your hats. Veterans and service members, as always, you may perform a service salute at your discretion. Join Chris Johnson and the band as we get things underway with our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I'm sure I do not have to tell you what that was, but I'm going to anyway, so I get my commission. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, 76 Trombones, the signature song from the famous musical The Music Man, written in 1957. That means next year it will be 60 years old. Big anniversary for that coming up. Our next selection was composed in 1926 by Paul Fauché, French composer, church organist, and an instructor at the Paris Conservatory of Music. His symphony in B-flat was written in 4 movements. Tonight we will bring you the finale. The work was actually quite unusual for 1926, as many of the works in the 20s were orchestral transcriptions and marches, not symphonic numbers like this one. This is Fauché's Symphony in B-flat finale. Before we move on to the next number, we had some keys turned in to us backstage. They look like they might be house or apartment keys. They're on a Iowa Hawkeye key tag, but you know, we'll make people aware of them anyway. If they happen to be yours, we'll have them backstage here. And oh, here comes Mr. Nobel. Well, how about that? All right, there we go. But Don, we need to get you interested in another key tag. Oh, that's not his. All right. Okay, good. All right. If you get my drift. No, I'm just kidding. Hawkeye fans, you don't need to walk out. I'm just kidding. If these happen to be yours, if you're still here in the park, hopefully we'll have them backstage. Our next number received such great reviews last week that we have decided to do it all over again. It's a wonderful, lighthearted salute to the trombone, and it's also a warm-up for one of the numbers the band will be presenting Saturday in the Festival of Municipal Bands in Boone. More about that coming up. And we just have to share it again just for the love of the trombone. Our entire trombone section once again featured, and that lineup from your left to right. Whoops, we have a slight change. We have a switcheroo. They're trying to keep the old announcer on his toes. We have Norman Dowell, and then we have Scott Johnson, and then I think Ron Furneaux is next, Melanie Schobert, Pat McFarland, and Janet Lott. By golly, we did get them all in the right order. Let's hear it for them. Back by popular demand. One more time, it's ragtime with the trombone rag. One more time for that trombone section. Let's hear it. As always, we want to thank our media partners, News Talk 1430, KASI Radio. They carry many of these concerts live here during the summer. And, of course, Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock, you can hear a tape broadcast also. And Ames Channel 12, of course, featuring the Ames Municipal Band concerts online on the YouTube channel. City of Ames. Go to the website for that. You can watch these concerts anytime you want to, as many times as you want to. And if you would like to watch this one on TV, you can catch it on Channel 12 tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. or tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. or I'm sure many other times down the road too. In fact, you can, of course, as you know, put on Channel 12 in the middle of winter when you're shivering and longing for some summertime, and there are the Ames Municipal Band concerts. If you remember the 70s, you certainly will remember the works of this composer we're saluting now, Marvin Hamlisch, destined to be in music. He was the son of a accordionist and band leader. He began playing the piano by age 5 and was accepted into what is now the Juilliard School pre-college division at the age of 7. His works were heard on stage, on radio, and on TV. Some of his biggest hit songs, of course, included Barbra Streisand's The Way We Were from the movie of the same title, and adaptations of the music of Scott Joplin for the movie The Sting, including, of course, the theme, The Entertainer. Hamlisch was one of only 12 people to win Emmy, Grammy, Tony, and Oscar awards, all 4, and is one of only 2 people to have won not only those awards, but also a Pulitzer Prize. Richard Rodgers was the other. In this collection, it's a debut number for the band. That debut, we promised you, we will bring you. They're playing my song, What I Did for Love, The Entertainer, The Way We Were, and One. This is a tribute to Marvin Hamlisch. Well, we are always happy to dedicate part of an Ames Municipal Band concert to the vocal talents of tonight's special guest. He has been on this stage many times, always a crowd pleaser. In fact, he often brings his own cheering section with him in the audience. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, our guest vocal soloist tonight, Chris Johnson. Chris is a busy guy. He is the vocal music director at Roland Story Middle School. Has been there for quite a few years doing that, and now also the vocal music director at Gilbert Middle School as well. He is also the assistant pastor at Grand Avenue Baptist Church, and he had the honor of singing with the Sioux Falls Symphony on the Verdi Requiem not too long ago. Very proud of that, and sings with the Ames Chamber Artists as well. For his opener tonight, Chris will bring back the music of Herman Hupfeld from 1931. Originally part of a Broadway musical, it was reintroduced to the world in the 1942 film Casablanca. Here's Chris and the band with As Time Goes By.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is still a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate that no one can deny. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs, they're never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, and the man must have his mate that no one can deny. But it's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by.
That's song number one for Chris. One more still to come. Want to take this moment to remind everybody the first of two performances this week by the Ames Municipal Band here tonight, as the band will once again be part of the big Iowa Municipal Band Festival, Herman Park in Boone on Saturday. That event celebrating a big 25th anniversary. Chris will be joining the band for encore performances of his vocal numbers, so folks over there in Boone taking in that festival can enjoy his vocal talents as well. In addition to the host, the Boone Municipal Band, the Ames Municipal Band is the only ensemble to appear in each of those 25 years at the festival. Ames Municipal Band will perform at 1 o'clock in the Herman Park Pavilion, but in addition to that, we want you to know the Oompa Meisters, made up of Ames Municipal Band members, will perform in the park across from the pavilion at 11:45 a.m. And the Ames Municipal Band Dixieland Band, you heard them tonight, they'll perform at 2:45 p.m. in the park there Saturday. And this year also marks the 100th anniversary of the Boone Municipal Band, and they will round out the day at 6 p.m. And by the way, the Ames Municipal Band will not celebrate its 100th anniversary until the year 2024, for those of you who like to plan way ahead. It is now time for Chris Johnson's encore with the band this evening. Just last week, we saluted the music of Hoagie Carmichael in a medley. Tonight, we'll bring you an encore of one of his greatest. Written in 1927, lyrics by Mitchell Parrish, here is the timeless Stardust.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely night dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you. When our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration. But that was long ago, and now my consolation is in the stardust of a song beside a garden wall. When stars are bright, you are in my arms. The nightingale tells his fairy tale of paradise where roses grew. Though I dream in vain, in my heart it will remain, my stardust melody, the melody of love's refrain. Beside a garden wall, when stars are bright, you are in my arms. The nightingale tells his fairy tale of paradise where roses grew. Though I dream in vain, in my heart it will remain, my stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain.
Chris Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Por favor, it is time to interject a grande dose of Latin flavor into our concert here tonight. This is written as a classic paso doble, the seductive Latin dance style, and a number composed by Joseph Olivadotti, an Italian-American composer with roots that range from New York to Atlantic City to Chicago to Long Beach, California. He wrote many, many works for concert bands, including wind numbers and marches, and also works for the mandolin. This song shares the name of a city in Spain. This is called Zaragoza. The grand compositions of Rossano Galante, great works for ensembles like the Ames Municipal Band. This one, no exception. He's known for his works in film and is a master of the brass flourish and sweeping melodies. This is thought of as a painting of a picture of the breathtaking beauty of the Earth's horizon and beyond. Indeed, it is entitled Beyond the Horizon. No doubt about it, America was in the mood for feel-good music that really moved with swing-style tunes in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And as everybody was busy jumping at the woodside, the big band sound indeed became an American anthem. Tonight, we're going to bring back just a few of the biggest hits of that era, and a medley featuring the music of Basie, Ellington, James, and Miller with In the Mood, Satin Doll, Cheerabirabin, and Jumpin' at the Woodside. This is called the Big Band Spectacular. Next week's concert will feature guest vocal soloist Emil Polaszek and also the Jive for Five Brass Quintet. Always a showstopper, and Jive for Five will also be providing the pre-concert entertainment. Great show on tap for you next Thursday night here in Bandshell Park. As is the case with many hymns, this one started life as a poem written by Joseph Scriven in 1855 to comfort his mother, who was in Ireland while he was living in Canada. This hymn can be found in many different versions around the world and in many different languages as well. Here is What a Friend We Have in Jesus. In 1930, it was tradition. 1920, rather, it was tradition for the midshipmen of the U.S. Naval Academy to have their own song to represent their graduating class. It was that year, 1920, that the class president went out on a limb and wrote a letter to one John Philip Sousa asking if he would possibly be willing to write a march for that class to use at the ceremonies. Though Sousa was a Navy veteran of World War I, the class president, of course, never thought that Sousa would agree to the request. Much to his surprise, Sousa said, "Sure, I'll do it." However, the whole project nearly fell apart in a dispute over what the title of the march should be. The graduating members wanted a Latin-style title, such as Semper Fidelis. Sousa resisted, and he nearly dropped the whole project in frustration over the whole deal. Finally, a title was agreed on and devised, and this march was performed for the first time at those graduation ceremonies for the midshipmen. Here is John Philip Sousa's Who's Who in Navy Blue. with Ben Fry running the lights, under the direction of Dr. Michael GOLEMO. Ladies and gentlemen, your Ames Municipal Band. Thank you again for joining us for another great Thursday evening here in Bandshell Park. We kept you entertained, we kept you dry. How about that? We look forward to seeing you back here next Thursday night. We'll do it all again. I'm John Burnett-Larkins on behalf of all the members of the Ames Municipal Band. Thank you, everyone. Good night.